What's up? I'm done crying about my Irish yesterday. I'm done crying. I'm done crying about them. You know, people just want to blame Brian Kelly, and he is, some of it to blame. But I'll just get this rant over with. The team, the players didn't even look like they came to play. So there was this one drive where Notre Dame was on the Clemson 5 yard line, and number 78, he wasn't blocking nobody. He just fell down. Like, they lazy. Ian Booker looked okay. The running back, he looked okay, but they looked lost. And I don't know. But anyways, I want to give a thanks out to the fantasy football headliners, Chat Sports, Fantasy Couch, Fantasy Football Advice, Fantasy Football Today, Fantasy Pros, Ian Lawson for betting, the Pat Mail Show, the Fantasy Doctor. I also want to give a shout out to my Facebook pages, Sports Mafia, Gridiron Fan Zone, uh, Fantasy Football Addiction, All Sports 24/7, 365 days, and 32 NFL Teams War Zone on Facebook. Go add those pages, please. So let's get right into it. So I picked the Chargers and I picked the Panthers. So 1-1. Okay, whatever. I got my Bears versus the Vikings. You know, Mitch is doing good for the past couple games. Let's give him two claps. But I keep on hearing that Carson Wentz might come to the Colts, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But I don't need him coming to the Bears because the Bears don't have no offensive line. I don't know if the general manager or the head coach or the owners of the Chicago Bears understand you need an offensive line. You need an offensive line. But I got my Bears going. I got my Bears winning. I'm putting my Bears down. I got to. Gotta stick, gotta be loyal. You know. Uh Start Irvin Smith. Bears allow the third most fantasy football points to tight ends. That sucks. Sit Carson. Start Montgomery. Start Cook. Of course, you're going to start Cook. Start Mitch. Allen Robinson, you're going to start. Thielen and Jefferson start. Bears are good against the run. 26 overall in fantasy football points. Vikings allow the fourth most fantasy football points to wide receiver. Graham and Commit, they split touches, but I'm going with Commit because, Fighting Irish, baby. Kyle Rudolph, he, I had him a couple years back about fantasy on my fantasy team, but I would go with Irv Smith instead of Kyle Rudolph. Okay, Texas versus Colts. Of course, I'm going with my Colts. Start Jonathan Taylor. Leads all Colts running backs in snaps and touches. Texas defense has allowed 17 touchdowns, second most fantasy football points to running backs. Start Ty. You're going to start Michael Pittman. Sit David and Duke Johnson. I'm hearing Duke Johnson might be hurt. I am not too sure. Texans allow over 26 fantasy football points to running backs. Uh, it, for Kiki QT and Chad Hansen, if Cook is out, which it should be coming up, the injury report should be coming up, and I'll have an updated one at 11:30. I'll do another video. If Cook is starting, then you might want to slack off on Henson, but Henson did so well against my Colts. So, and I don't see Kiki QT having a rhythm for that wide receiver one position. So those are a tie. I would start them both, but Henson burnt my Colts. The Texans allow the eighth most fantasy football points to wide receiver. Chargers, Bills. Bills won. Check that off. Bills won. Josh Allen had 4 touchdowns. I said his butt because I have Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. So ooh, let's see. Let's go on to the next one. And yes, again, people, I do it old school. Old school, new school. You gotta find a medium for me. This is, I hope what stands out in my videos that you guys understand that I do my work, I write it down. I think I watched up almost up to 100 videos of fantasy football podcasts each week, or I try to. Um, if anybody want to put in the comments on how I should do things differently or what they would like me to add, please say it in the comments. Bucks versus Atlanta. I'm going with the Bucks, even though I'm going with the Bucks. We're going to Bucks. Start Brady. Bucks allow the fourth most fantasy football points to wide receivers. Atlanta allows the second most fantasy football points to wide receivers. So, Godwin, I'm going to start. Mike Evans, I'm going to start him. Then you got Gronk. And then Rondo is on the COVID list, and he has a finger issue. So let's see. Atlanta gives up the most points to quarterbacks. I'm going to sit. You know what? Now I'm going to sit Ryan because I like this Bucks defense. They are playing with hunger. You know what I'm saying? Hunger. Just like when they had, when they won the Super Bowl that year. What's that guy's name? I can just picture him in my head. Anyways, I'll think of it. Bucks allow the fewest points to running back. Start Gronk, which I got him in a league. Rondo, you're going to have to stick. That means you're going to have to start Leonard Fournette, maybe. If he wants to play, I guess. Sit all running backs for Atlanta. I've said this, and the fantasy football counselor came out. Oh, the Chiefs tell you to not start Gurley, not pick up Gurley, blah blah blah. And he was wrong on that because Gurley's knees, if you have arthritis, that sucks balls. It's like rum that gets these two phones rum to get it each other. You know what I'm saying? Start Godwin, start Evans. He was limited in practice, but I think on Friday, Saturday practice, he was full participant. But I'll check up on that. Maybe start AB, but his targets have dropped. Start Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage because Julio Jones is out. I'll get on the Saints issue when I have to talk about them. But yeah, we're going with the Bucks. Jags versus Ravens. Brr. Again, this is why I don't really bet because I don't like the Ravens and I can't stand the Jags. So I wouldn't make a good betting person, But I'm going. I'm going with the Ravens, even though it's like 13.5. You're going to sit Shark. You're going to start James Robinson, start DK Dobbins and Gus Edwards, sit Jags wide receivers, start Marquise Brown because the last game, even though it was against the Browns, he was doing pretty good. Jags allow the fourth most points. Jags allow the fourth most fantasy football points to running backs. Jags allow the seventh most fantasy football points to wide receivers. You're going to start Mark Andrews. Golly, he was my favorite last year, and somehow he just, man, I don't know if it's the plays that are being called. Lamar. It's a whole bunch of things that could be in the mix. But Mark Andrews, golly, that hurt. That hurt. I picked him over Gronk. Go figure. We had the Lions against the Titans. Being a Bears fan, I can't stand the Lions. Being a Colts fans, I can't stand the Titans. So I'm not predicting this game. But start Tannenhill. And I don't understand. They're not even in the playoff. Why even get Stafford even more hurt? And I've heard through the rumor mills, just like I heard with the Carson Wentz stuff, that, Colts couldn't reach out to him. I don't know, man. I don't know. With him being hurt all those years, that stuff adds up. Um, Tannehill has had multiple touchdowns last couple games. Lions allowed the seventh most points to quarterbacks. Start Corey Davis. Start DeAndre Swift. Sit all Lions wide receivers because you don't know who's going to be the quarterback. I mean, they say that Stafford's going to play. I do take that back. They did say that Stafford will play, but man, that's that is a tough dude. Being being a Bears fan, I give my respect to Matt Stafford, but forget the Lions. Lions allow the most fantasy football points to running backs. Titans allow the sixth most fantasy football points to running backs. Start T.J. Hawkinson. I got him. Pats versus Fins. I'm going with the Fins. I don't have anybody on the Patriots. Sit Newton. Dolphins got a good defense. Allow the 11th fewest points to quarterbacks. Sit Tua. Sit all Pats running backs. Sit all Miami's running backs. Gaskins on COVID. Pats sit all wide receivers. If you can, go ahead and start Parker. If you can, I don't know if he's playing. And if you got Edelman, go ahead and start him too. Sit Pat's tight end Ryan Izzo. Sit him. Sit him quickly. Okay, for the Skins for the Washington football team, I got Seattle versus. I'm going with Seattle because Alex Smith is out. I got Russell Wilson. I hope he has a good day, but the Skins defense. Godwin or Dante PPR. Okay. Let's see. Like I just said, let me. Atlanta allows the second most fantasy football points to wide receivers. Now, with the Bucks, it's Evans, Godwin, Gronk, Rondo's out. So you got to think about that. I think you're saying the Steelers. Steelers got Claypool, Juju, Washington, Connor. You know, let's see. Atlanta allows the second most fantasy football points to wide receivers, where Bengals allow the 17th most fantasy football points to wide receivers. So please keep that in mind. Let's see. We got Seattle. I almost had on here Lockett to sit Lockett. But Seattle's defense sucks balls. Seattle's defense is good against the wide receivers, but I'm still would start Logan Thomas. Uh, Eagles versus Cards. Golly, now let's get with these Eagles. I don't want Carson Wentz. Everybody's telling me, oh, you got a better offensive line than the Eagles. Jason Peters is out, and then you got Kelsey's brother. Golly, man. We've spent over 20 million on Rivers, and we got Easton sitting, we got Brissett sitting. Just please, all these injured. Why do the Colts? We went for Frank Gore, we went for Andre Johnson. Why do we keep on going to these players? Huh? Can somebody in the comment section please tell me why the Colts keep on going after these players? It's mind-boggling. Eagles versus Cards. I'm going to take the Cards. Simple fact that I got Murray. You're going to sit Ertz. You're going to start Dallas Goedert. Go ahead and start him. Start Miles Sanders. Start Drake. 4 straight games with a touchdown. Start Jalen Rager. Cards allow the 18 fantasy football points to running backs. Chase Edmonds is doubtful now, so you're definitely going to start Drake. Start Cards tight end Dan Arnold. Eagles have allowed 8 touchdowns this year, 2 tight ends. Niners versus Cowgirls. I'm going with the Niners. I just, I don't know what's up with Zeke the freak, Zeke the waste right now. Like, yeah, Lee, I understand you might not have that offensive line. I'm not even going to start that one. But you're going to start Akula. You're going to start Jeff Wilson. 10 touches last 3 games. That's that's okay. Niners have allowed the fifth fewest fantasy football points to running backs. You're going to sit Schultz. You're going to sit Pollard. Uh, I don't know what's wrong with Zeke. Maybe he just said, "Fuck it." I would rather be in the club than on the field. Golly, they did that wrong though. Jets versus Rams. Rams are last time I checked were 16.5 point favorites. Rams win, but I think the Jets might cover that. I just think the Jets might cover it. But start Goff, start Akers, 50 snaps, 60% touch share. Sit Jameson Crowder, sit all Jets running backs. Maybe start. I wouldn't even start Jameson Crowder. I mean, that's who they're going to go to because they don't have anybody else. So, I mean, is Frank Gore even? He's on concussion protocol. I don't even know. Frank Gore might start, so he might get all the passes. Chiefs versus Saints. I got Hill. I got Hill. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. Sit Jared Cook, but he has had back-to-back touchdowns. So with Drew Brees playing, like, why would you play Drew Brees if you're already in the playoffs? Like, calm it down. Think about the playoffs, and let's get there. Okay. Uh, start Hill. Start Sammy Watkins. Go figure. Uh, Michael Thomas is ruled out. If so, start Traquan Smith and maybe Emmanuel Sanders. I almost said Amendola. Golly. Uh, the Browns versus Giants. I need the Giants to win because Colts are in the playoff hunt, and so are the. Well, I gotta check off the. I gotta check. I'm gonna go. I got Landry, so I'm gonna go with the Browns. Browns do the play action better. Start Ingram, start Chubb, start Hunt. Giants allowed the 10th both fantasy football points to running back. Start Wayne Gallman, start Landry, sit all Giants wide receivers. Brown allowed the 9th most fantasy football points to wide receivers, but the Giants quarterback sucks. I mean, he can't run nowhere. And that's what Daniel Jones is. He's a running quarterback, but he can't do that movie move. Huh. Here we go. Steelers versus Bengals. I don't even want to say this, but I'm gonna go with the Steelers because I got Claypool and I got Johnson. So I'm going with the Steelers. Nicole and Fontes. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear no comments. Start Johnson flex. Sit Tyler Boyd. Start Ebron. Start James Conner. Sit all Bengals running backs. Start Juju, Johnson, and Claypool. Start T. Higgins. Bengals allow the 17th most fantasy points to wide receivers, where the Steelers allow the 16th most fantasy football points to wide receivers and sit Drew Sample. Whew. The Steelers have a lot, so you can't. This guy said Godwin or uh, Dante in PPR, but points per reception, you can't really. I mean, they got 3 good wide receivers. Well, Claypool, if you touch him, he wants to become a little punk, but I can't say nothing because he's my Irish. He's fighting Irish, so we're gonna say God bless. I hope you guys I gotta buy uh, in one of my leagues. I got to look at it again. And so I'll be on again around 11:30 to give an injury report. I'm trying to up this channel. Please leave positive comments on what I should do. Again, make sure you add fantasy football, fantasy football edition, all sports 24/7, 365 days, and add 32 NFL teams, Warzone, add Sports Mafia, add Gridiron Fan Zone. Have a blessed day. Peace. Where'd my little cursor go? Oh, it got stuck.